Welcome to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. I am Travis Stewart, and this is Derek Almy.
Hey, how's it going? We're here for show number 10. I'm filling in for Michael Treadwell, who's training right now for Loretta Lynn's, coming up here shortly in the end of July. What do you got in store for the show today?
Today we're going to be going over some footage from Winchester Speed Park. They had a July 4th race. It was a Friday race, and we went down there and got some footage of that. John Dowd and the guys ripping it up down there. We'll have that and more for you on the New England Motocross Show. From the production line to the starting line, Snow Pro Trailers is the industry leader in quality, strength, and versatility. Rest assured that when race day rolls around, you'll be transporting your bikes, sleds, race cars, and ATVs with a proven winner. So make it a Snow Pro atop the trailer podium since 1996. Welcome back to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. We're going to get right into some of the action from the July 4th race at Winchester Speed Park. The first moto off the line was the 50 Open class, and right away it looked like the number 12, Jacob Bedoin, was going to walk away from the pack. But he would go down quick in the first turn and have to remount. This gave the lead to the 55 of Dylan Diamond, who is being stalked by George Cook. The leaders marched away from the field knowing that the number 12 ride may still be in this race, and indeed he was, making pass after pass to get to the front. The 55 would ride an incredible race to get the win, and the 111 would make his way into second, only to be passed on the last lap by Bedoin. Jacob would put immense pressure on the 55, but was unable to get the Moto win. In Moto 2, he would lead from start to finish and get the overall, as well as the series championship.
The 125B was a star-studded gate from the get-go. Dana Stacy ripped a whole shot, but it didn't take long for the 777 to work his magic and put Stacy back into second. Then he began what would be an untouchable ride to the checkers. Now it was Stacy trying to get a hold of Maylock and Myrick, who both wanted to take a shot at Jake Abbott. During this, Chris Schauer came out of the woodwork to throw in his 2 cents, and soon was a part of the battle. He pulled up alongside Myrick and finally made the pass that would set him up to go after Maylock's. Stacy had some trouble casing the big jump down back, and Schauer elected to scrub. This gained him some momentum to go after the 441. On the last lap, he made a dart for the outside, and Stacy put a good block pass to maintain second.
In Moto 2, it was all Schauer out of the gate, and he would try to get away early, but it wasn't long before Abbott was once again shooting for the lead spot. He came close, almost coming together, but Shara was able to get him back when Jake chose the wrong line out back. The next lap, Abbott would not be fooled twice. This time, he stuck in the pass and got the overall.
The second moto of the 125C class was led and won easily by the 509 of Josh Lemoyne. First moto he had some bad luck and would end up with a third overall on the day. But the battle to watch in this one was between the 83 of Josh Bond and the 349 of Bradley Caprello, who went at it in Moto 2 for the overall win, with Bond taking the top spot.
In the 65A, it was Austin Clapp from start to finish, working the pack behind him to get the overall win. Blaze Best would take third overall, just behind Farnham.
B looked like the number 43 was going to steal the show in Moto 2, but just like that, he was on the ground and the lead went to the 101 of Jake Penhankos. Also in the running was the number 351 of my little buddy, Kyle LaForge, who would end his shot at the podium spot when he went down in the first turn.
In the Open A class, it was Haysha throwing out the first pitch as he led Morrison and company into the first turn. He would begin a charge that would not end in this moto. Morrison tried vigorously in this one to catch the 31, but it was not in his power. Morrison would have trouble later in the moto and give second to the 77 of Brian Bagley. Morrison would sit out Moto 2. This gave the open door for Haysha to put on some fast laps and take the overall easily.
Pulling the trigger early on the pack was the number 52 of Dakota Willis in the Open B. But it did not take long for the number 424 of Brett Hurd to take that Rochester Power Sports 450 to the lead. Slattery moved up through the pack quick and started working on the top guys. As Hurd moved further away from his competition, the pack jostled for positions. In the second moto, this time, Brett had the start he wanted, and Stacy also got a great start. Stacy and Malox battled for second place spot. Malox would take second overall. Third overall would go to the 831 Ravex ride of Matt Slattery.
Open B started with a major wipeout in turn 1 and would finish up with the number 91 of Jacob Frost getting the win. Joshua Bond would take second, followed by Joe Stewart. The Super Mini class was broken up into 2 gate drops for the first motos because of the large amount of entries. In the first division, it was John Varela pulling the early lead and trying to hold off the 43 of Travis Marsh. But the Cowie was putting the pressure on hard and soon would take over the lead when Varela would have some trouble. Behind him now is Shea and Joey King, who were able to hold off Varela for the rest of this moto. In Division 2 is the 557 that had a great start and was pulling the pack early on his KTM. Behind him, the battle raged on for a good spot going into the main. In the second moto is the best from the 2 divisions that would be combined, and Borello would get the early lead. And this time, he would not be shaken by the 43 ride. He would get the moto win, but the overall would go to Travis Marsh. Joey King would round out top 3. In the 125A, Dowd was out for blood when he lined up on his 2-stroke 250. He did just what he was expected to and grabbed the big hole shot and led the way. This left a big battle behind him as Morrison tried to get through the pack early. He would throw down the usual big block passes and get up to see Haysha, who was strong behind Dowd.
The junkyard dog tore apart the track. Robinson was out early with bike troubles. Soon, New York's Brian Mulcahy was banging on the back door of Jacob Morrison. Jake was going to do everything in his powers to stop him. Mulcahy tried every line in the book to make his move around and would finally get it done on the last lap. Morrison tried to get in a rebuttal, but it was to no effort.
In Moto 2, it would be Dowd again with Mason Phillips, McCulhay, and even Jenkins getting a wheel up into the top three. Dowd was quick to run and high, and McCulhay did the same in the second position. Mason tried hard to stay into the top three, but he would have to settle for fourth overall. Mulcahy would work hard on the 16, but was unable to make a pass for the lead. Morrison was nowhere to be found when it came to the top guys. The youth motos were a lookalike to the 125B motos, Abbott with a great start, and Shara laying on the pressure early, with Myrick backing up the charge. In Moto 1, Shea got into the mix on the 927 Honda, and looked like he might have something for the overall. Abbott would steadily put time between him and the rest of the pack, but Shea impressively held off Shara the entire moto. Jake Abbott was simply flawless at the front of the pack. Myrick made his way up into fourth late in the moto. In Moto 2, Shea had some trouble on the start and left Abbott and Shara to settle this one. Shara would stay close, keeping Jake honest, but it wasn't long before Jake had a comfortable lead and was able to take the win. the women's class, it was the 652 of Williams that got the early lead and started to walk away. Behind her, the 334 of Mariah Andrew and the 78 of Jenna Smith did everything in their power to track down the Yamaha. Williams would take the win, and second would go to Jenna Smith.
Taking the win. Smith had a run at her, but not able to capitalize on that lap. So the Fox Racing, Smith Racing ride.
Sweeney would grab the whole shot in the girls' class, and was even able to pass a lot of the women riders as she made her way to the checkers. Not too far off the pace was the 441 of Ryan Stacy, who has been very fast lately. The 458 class came off the line with a ton of speed, and lo and behold, it was the yellow number 16 bike at the head of the field. This race looked like it was going to be a run for second, and Morrison and McCullough were close on the first lap. But soon, Morrison would separate himself from the pack, and it looked like he may have something for Dad. He pulled up close, but John used the sense of emergency to find that little extra and pull away. Moto 1 would finish up with Hayshe in third. Second moto was Dowd, Morrison, and McCullough, all within seconds of each other, and this is where it would stay at for the entire moto. The overall went to Dowd, with Morrison taking second, and after Hayshe had some trouble, third would go to McCullough.
Tired of hearing the word no? Casco Bay Ford's Alternative Credit Department will work with you and your credit situation. Recent bankruptcy, past repossessions, divorce, slow pay, charge-offs? No problem. Let Casco Bay Ford help you get your credit back on track and get you reliable transportation from our great selection of new and pre-owned cars and trucks with the best warranty in the business. Don't let your low credit score lower your standards. Come to Casco Bay Ford's Alternative Credit Department and get the second chance you deserve. Call us today or visit our website, where the only no you should hear is no problem.
Welcome back to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. We saw some of the footage of John Dowd ripping it up on the two-stroke 250 in that 125 class. Talk a little bit about John this year.
Yeah, you know, John Dowd, he's 40-something years old by now, and he comes out and he puts a schooling on all those guys out there in the A classes. And I wasn't actually at the Winchester race for the July 4th, but I heard he was going pretty well and put a schooling on all the young guys.
Definitely, and you had McCulhay in there and Morrison. These guys just seem like they don't got what it takes to stay with him. He's just another notch ahead of him. Haitia's pretty fast on that track. Do you think come Winchester Regional, Haitia's going to have something for him?
Yeah, you know, Mike Haisha always manages to pull things out. He goes really good there. I was at a Supercross race earlier in the year and watched him take it to Keith Johnson, who we all know is a pretty tough guy to run with. But yeah, I was kind of surprised when I heard Brian out of New York had a rough weekend. He's been going real good since he lost his father. It's an unfortunate incident, but he's going really good now.
McCulhay was on it, and he did get into it a little bit with Morrison. You could see he's still got that edge. He's still got the, you know, the knack for getting out there and motoing real hard. Hopefully he's there at the Winchester Regional. It's going to be a stat class this year, and you got in the 125 Pro class, Craig Doobie coming back, just coming off a big win in the Classic. Do you think he's going to be able to go out there and get another win on John Dowd?
Yeah, you know, Craig, he's kind of taken a leave of absence earlier in the year, but he always comes out strong swinging. Kid gets great starts. He spent the winter with me down in Florida, and he worked pretty hard down there, so he's riding real strong come the middle of this year.
And in the B class, obviously this year, Jimmy Dakotas, who's putting in some moto right behind us, you know, he's been fast this year, but he's moving up to the A class after Loretta's his plan. So who do you think's going to step up and take that position at the top of the B class, especially for the regional?
Yeah, come Winchester Regional, it's probably going to be the 612 of Seth Rarick, who's also here riding with us today. I think he's got what it takes. The kid's got more heart than anybody I've ever met. He trains really hard. He stays with me and Jimmy. He's going by right now. I got the privilege of working with Jimmy and training him side by side, and the kid's finally coming around, and he's putting in a lot of effort. So come Amateur Nationals, I hope he has it.
Definitely, and we've seen Jake Abbott out there, Chris Shar, there's a bunch of names. Casey Myrick from Maine has been on it lately. There's a bunch of names that could do some damage out there. In the Super Mini class, it's got to be Chopper Borello. He's hammering on it right now.
Yeah, again, I've seen him ride over the past year or two, and he's been getting great starts as well, getting out front, leading the races early, and that's kind of what it takes. Some of these short races and stuff, I don't know what the Winchester has, but the short races, definitely the start's a big factor.
All right, cool. Well, that's going to do it for us. Again, special thanks to our sponsors, Snow Pro Trailers, Factory Connection, Planet Fitness, helping us out. Go to the website, NEMXS.com, for more and a ton of footage from, you know, all over New England. We're getting a bunch of stuff up. For Travis Stewart, Derek Almy, thanks for coming out and hanging with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, cool. Take it easy, guys.
See you guys later.